Shorty, what you know about love? Tell you everything. I got.
Hi everyone, it's Adyel here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have an exciting video for you guys that I've been planning to do for a while now. So a few months ago my friend asked me if I had a tutorial on just eyeshadow in general and the basics and how I do my eyeliner and all that kind of stuff. And I realized that I've never done a full in-depth tutorial on eyes and any of my techniques and just kind of a beginner's video, but I also feel like this can benefit anybody even if you're not a beginner because we all use different techniques when it comes to eyeshadow and makeup in general. So I thought that I would do this full in-depth video on how I blend and build eyeshadow, how I do a cut crease, how I do my liner, and just really a basic full in-depth eye tutorial. Today we're doing step by step and I'm so excited. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up to let me know how you like it and also comment down below on your thoughts. I love reading your comments and responding to you guys and having little conversations, and I would love to hear any other video requests you have in terms of beginners makeup tutorials or anything like that. I think we tend, or at least I never thought to do this video because I thought to myself, well, there's so many other tutorials on YouTube about makeup basics and beginners tutorials, and I even have noticed as the years have gone by that makeup tutorials aren't really trending as much as they used to. But you know what, I thought this would be a really helpful video for whoever may come across this, and I really hope that it is. And one last thing, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please be sure to do so. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. It is such a fun time around here and I would absolutely love it if you stuck around. So yeah, without further ado, if you want to see this eye makeup tutorial and learn my little tips, tricks, and secrets, then please keep on watching. Okay guys, so I apologize for my hair. As you saw in the intro, it looks a lot better at the end. Zooming you guys in, today is going to be all about the eyes and I am beyond excited. I'm actually gonna adjust my tripod to be straight level with my face because I want to make sure you guys can see every single part of this process. So today we're going to be using neutral colors. I have two palettes with me here today. I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy and then the Jackie Aina. We're going to be using the Amrezy palette because it has a lot of neutral tones at the bottom, and then I'm going to go in with the Jackie Aina palette for like a little bit of pop. So yeah, today I thought it would be easiest if I showed you guys a full in-depth with the neutral colors and just know the same techniques apply to colorful shadow. Who knows, maybe I'll do a part 2, or just for the future I'll keep in mind for my colorful tutorials to really show you guys up close with the eye. But today is going to be all about the technique. I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what I do, and now it depends. Sometimes I do the face first, sometimes I don't. Today I did, so I have some bake underneath my eye in case of any fallout. But I'm going to show you guys this eye. I'm going to be doing both eyes at the same time, but I really want to focus on showing you guys this eye. And I do want to apologize because since I am in New York at the moment, I don't have like all my key staple eyeshadow blending brushes with me, but in the description box I'm going to have linked down below a bunch of my favorite eye products so you guys can go ahead and shop. I use a lot of Morphe blending brushes and Sigma blending brushes. I have codes for both of those stores if you want to check down below. But yeah, today I'm talking to you guys about how I do it. So there's no right or wrong way. I'm just telling you guys what I've learned along the way. So this is a Sigma P84 brush and I find this a lifesaver to buff out concealer onto the lid and also set the lids. I normally like to always set the lids. I know some people just go in with their concealer and blend right on top. I haven't gotten super comfortable with that yet, so this is just what I'm used to, is having a clean base of concealer on my lids with the setting powder. You can use your primer, whatever you feel most comfortable with, but this is what's given me a smooth base always. And I absolutely love, you'll probably see in most of my eye tutorials, I have this kind of looking brush. This is by the Makeup Shack. Unfortunately, I don't have the names, but I'll link them down below. And I can't find my bigger one. I have a bigger fluffy brush than this that I normally go in with, but this will work just as fine. First things first, I always go in with a transition shade. So today that's going to be Yalka. I go in with the shade and really tap, tap, tap it off. That's what I do all the time. You want to go in with your lightest shade. Sometimes I'll even go in with a shade lighter than this, but whatever the case may be, you want to take your lightest shade and really focus it. Now next, before we even start anything, a key tip, and by the way, excuse my nails, a key tip that I've learned is to hold your blending brush towards the end, because this is going to give you a light hand. When you hold it super close, automatically you're used to just grabbing it tight and going a little bit too heavy. So by doing this, you're going to really diffuse. And now you're going to see when I blend out that I do two different blending styles. One is the circular blend where it just blends all the shadow up and out. And then of course, I'm sure you guys all know the infamous windshield wiper motion. Both of these, a combination of both of these is really what has given me a perfect blend. You can go in and pack shadow and then do that afterwards. Whatever the case may be, I always recommend having a fully clean blending brush on deck. This is also another lifesaver. So you guys know your crease, like right in there, you know. If you have hooded lids, you could go a little bit up. There's honestly no rules, but you can feel the bone of your eye, and that's normally the shape that I like to follow. I have trouble doing like winged out shadow shapes just because for some reason I've just always had trouble with that. So you want to find whatever works best for your eye, and really practice makes perfect, I promise you. But once you get these steps down, it'll make things easier. So first off, I'm taking with the lightest hand ever this shade, and I'm slowly sweeping it, as you can see, on the crease. And one thing I like to do is go a little bit lower. So see how this shadow is on the lid, kind of? I don't like to go all the way too close to the brow bone right away, because I've noticed it makes it harder to blend. So what I really like to do is first place the shadow with windshield wiper motion in a certain spot or area, and then we're gonna go out and diffuse with the circular motions. Also, this is another really amazing tip I learned. I'm pretty sure it was from Desi Perkins. When you want to diffuse your shadow upwards easily, a way to do that is to put your hand literally up above your eye and sweep it like this. It feels funny, it looks funny, it's hard for me to get on camera right now, but what this does is it's concentrating the shadow right here, but while you're blending, the top of the brush is diffusing that product upwards. So I don't know if you were able to see while I did that a difference, but it really does help. So as you can see, normally I go for shades like these, like little burnt orange shades. I feel like they're beautiful in the transition, and you guys are going to see what I do to define the rest of the eye as we move forward and go on. Like I said, today's a really basic look, but you can envision this with, let's say we were doing a light pink look. This shade would be a super light pink, and then the next step we're gonna go in with more concentrated brown. I would go in with a more concentrated pink, something like that. You see what I mean? By using these different techniques, we have a slight wash of color that's nicely diffused throughout the eye. So now I go in with the clean blending brush and I circle this around the shape, and this also helps to just diffuse the eye. And just know, if you ever feel like you're making a mistake or you brought the shadow out too far, you can clean it up with translucent powder, or this is where I find my Sigma P84 brush also helpful, because I like to take it, usually it has extra concealer and powder on it, and I'll take it kind of in this crease right here so that it doesn't go too close to the nose, and I'll also just wipe around and it really cleans it up. So there we have that, and I'm just going to quickly copy this on the other eye and speed it up for you guys. And one thing is, you really want to go in with as little product as possible and build it up. As you get more skilled with this, you can pack it on and you could feel more confident that it's going to be blended. But when you're first starting to perfect your shadow, you really just want to go in little by little, because you could always add more but you can't take away. And if you don't have your blending skills perfected down, it's going to be a little bit tricky. So again, make sure you concentrate your color in the crease socket and blend it upwards so it's like a fade. And again, I like to do this little circular motion, especially on this outer corner, so it really helps to define the outer corner. Okay, so that's just like a rough outline. So I'm going to go in with the shade OG right next to it, and I like to pack it, and then of course tap tap tap. So now we're moving on and adding definition. So I like to really concentrate this on that outer corner and outer thirds. It depends what look I'm doing. Sometimes I'll drag it onto the inner corner, but today we're not doing that. So I'll go in and I'll just do like a little perimeter circle of that shade. Right now that looks super messy, okay? Take your original brush that you did with your transition and you're gonna go circular motions in like a windshield wiper motion, and you're gonna fan out the color. You're gonna go back and forth, back and forth. You can even like stretch your eyebrow up. This also helps. And then again, go upwards with the brush. It's all about just diffusing the color. So as you can see, where's that harsh line? You know what I mean? It's disappearing. So that's what I like to do. And for a beginner, I would probably recommend that you do this before your face makeup because you could easily clean it up. You could just take concealer, foundation, and boom, like clean it up. It's way easier than like the translucent powder moment. But yeah, so as you can see, there's the difference. This eye just has like the wash of color, and then this eye is like super defined now. So again, I'm just gonna mimic on this other side. And personally, I like to repeat the steps on the other eye exactly while I'm doing it, just because it makes sure that I get like the most even, precise blend. And I will say the Anastasia shadows tend to have a lot of fallout. That's just what I've always noticed from them. So I'm gonna link a palette. I can't believe I forgot it. I just literally wasn't thinking when I packed, not knowing I was gonna be here for 3 freaking months. But I'll link, it's a Jadez beauty palette. It's one of my favorites and it has the most perfect shades, and I don't really ever notice a lot of fallout with those. Okay, now again, you could take your clean brush, which, you know, it starts to get not so clean afterwards, but it's better than if you dipped into product, just to diffuse the ends. So next, little by little, I mean, it depends how far you want to blend and how defined and dark you want your shadow to be. Today we're going to be a little bit smoky with it, just because I want to show you guys different techniques and how building up color can really add definition to an eye look. But you can literally leave it like this, and you can add your lid shade, and you don't have to cut the crease, but I am going to be showing you guys how to cut the crease just because this is like a full eye basics tutorial. Next up, I'm going to go in with 1988. We might take these two shades, the black and the really dark purpley brown, but I'm not quite sure yet. And now I'm taking like a more tapered, defined brush. This is a Morphe M513, and this you really want to be concentrated. So this I'm sweeping on the outer third. See the difference? More definition to the outer corner. You could even go inwards where you're dragging it in. Again, we have a super harsh line, so what do? Take the original brush, and again, the circular motions. I feel like the windshield wiper motions help, but the fast circular motions really blend all of the shadows together seamlessly. There we go. So again, with the definition, you can go back in with that shade. You can concentrate it in the crease more, whatever you would like to do. What I personally like to do is the darker I add the shadows, I like to get them more concentrated to the lid. Again, it kind of just depends on the look. But for example, if I was going to add black right now, which I'm not gonna because we're going to do an eyeliner, I would only put it right here and then blend it upwards. Every time you add color, blend and diffuse, literally until your wrist basically wants to fall off. So that adds just a lot more definition to the eye. Another key tip I have is to go in with your original brush or a new brush with your original transition color and just refocus it and reblend it. When you use the original transition color, it helps also. I don't like to go much higher than this. You guys will see why. So now we're gonna get into cutting the crease, and this is not something that I always do. For example, a lot of times I'll just take that Sigma brush, diffuse this inside, and then put a shimmer shade on top, or just a neutral shade, but it will still kind of be a little bit dark looking. So how do I do a cut crease? There's literally so many ways to do one. First things first, you want to find any brushes like these. Sometimes I even use my eyebrow brush. For beginners, I would probably recommend a little one like this. So what I do is I take my concealer, and make sure you don't go overboard with this. You could either dip your brush, but what I find easiest is pack some concealer on the lid like that, right? I stretch my lid kind of up like this, and I go with stamping motions. This is what creates like a really nice diffuse cut crease without it being too harsh. See what I mean? Like, bam, cut. But if I wanted like a super defined crisp where you really wanted to see the line, I would pack way more concealer. But this is what gives it that beautiful, effortless cut crease look. And again, you can use a wipe as well and then kind of diffuse. I'm going to show you guys how you diffuse your shadow, but going back and forth like this. There you have it, like a clean cut crease, bam. Like that's literally all you need to do. I found in the beginning, I've tried to like go and trace a line. That just makes it super shaky for me. What I like to do is stamp. So then you could go in with a little bit more concealer, which I'm gonna do just because I want it to be a little bit brighter, and also just to show you guys what I mean. So you can go ahead and you can like trace, but see how it's like, it's fine, but it's not perfect. And I'm not saying stamping is perfect either, but it helps you get that shape without just messing up and being like, oh crap. And then you can really go in and trace over the line. And let me know if you guys want a separate tutorial on how to do like a full-blown cut crease. Basically, you would just follow this line out into a little wing. But anyway, this is the moment where I go in with translucent powder, and you don't have to do this. There's a lot of people that go in straight with a color on top. I'm just trying to show you guys what has made it as seamless as possible for me. And you don't want to go in with too much translucent powder either, but just enough to cover the line, and also it helps to diffuse any harsh line too. I don't like my line to be super harsh, especially with natural looks. Like, that's fine for me. And then you have this like harsh ass line. First, I go in with the transition brush and windshield wiper back and forth on the top line. And then you want to go back and forth on the line. And see how that just added a little bit more color? You could also go in with a clean brush and just take it back and forth. And then you have a beautiful little fade. But just see how it opens the eye back up. This eye, it's kind of just like, okay, what the heck? And sometimes I'll get little patches like this. I don't know how to explain it. I think it's just like from a concealer, but it always happens on this eye. See how this is kind of just like and then automatically this just looks so much more professional and beautiful, and obviously just ignore the fallout. And then what I like to do on the bottom is sweep your transition shade. So we have that, and again, I'm gonna go ahead and like clean this up. Setting spray is what's really gonna help, and I'm also gonna go back in with my beauty sponge. And then sometimes I'll add like a little shadow wing here, but we're not gonna do that today. So there we have it for the most part, right? You could go ahead and add a shimmery shade, which today I'm debating if I want matte or shimmer. You know what? I'm gonna take a mix of these two colors right here, Soleil and Zam, and I'm just gonna do the lightest wash. I don't know. I feel like even that tiniest touch is enough. Today I want something neutral, but also something glam at the same time, and I feel like this is like the perfect little medium. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one off camera, and then we're gonna go straight into the wings. So, winged liner. This is something I always get so nervous to do on camera because for some reason I never get it in the frame. So I'm really gonna pay attention today. And by the way, another key tip I have is to just blot it out with your fingers. But okay, first of all, the liner that I've been using lately is the Morphe liner, and this is the exact applicator I like to use. I hope you guys can see it. I love a felt tip applicator. For some reason, I like it to be really liquidy like this one. Another recommendation is the Benefit roller liner. This also very similar. It's just dried out right now. And then my first impression with this one, I honestly didn't like it, but the liquid liner also has a very similar applicator. I really like the e.l.f. one as well. Anything with like a liquid. What I do is I usually go in with a felt tip liner first, and then I perfect it with the liquid. I noticed that I can really create a fine tapered line with a liquid. So for example, like I like my liner to fade out at the end and be kind of like that. If you guys get the idea, you guys are going to see me doing it right now. So sometimes I can get that with the felt tip, but let's see. Before I even do my liquid liner, I go in with a liner to put into my waterline, just like so, and then a little bit on my tight line. This helps me guide the wing. So let me just tell you guys, this part, practice makes perfect. I have been doing winged liner since, it's been over 5 years, okay, and I still struggle. Anyone that wears the winged liner will tell you that. I can do a full winged liner video. I can attempt to if you guys still aren't clear on it after today's video, but let's try this. So first things first, I create a thin line on my eye. And again, I've been doing this for years, so I kind of just have it mimicked down to a science. So this is kind of a little bit thick. If you want a smaller wing, I wouldn't do it this thick, but you guys know I love my big, thick wings. Next, what I do is I take my liner in this outside corner and I drag it just like that. I literally, just what you saw, that's what I do. Then, boom. You see that? Bam. That's why if you guys want like a voiceover how-to winged liner video, I will do that because I understand I can't really talk while I do this. So there you go. And sometimes the felt tip doesn't give me this and I have to go in with a liquid liner, and then I kind of just go ahead and fill it in. Have to do with this is finding out your eye shape and what liner suits your eye and what you like best. And that's how I do it. Today I got lucky. Sometimes I need to go in with concealer. Again, sometimes I need to go in with like a thicker wing. It's hard because I like to make this line completely straight, but then I end up usually messing it up. So yeah, now I'm not gonna talk and you guys can just watch me like finish this off. Bam, perfect. I'm really proud of myself actually. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the other eye, and this is when it's like, oh shit. See what I mean? I'm like used to the shape that it finishes with, so that's why I do it so thick. And trust me, if you do this every day, it'll become so much easier. I can't explain to you how many times I'll go without doing liner for like weeks at a time, and I'll try and do it again, and I'm like, I forgot. So yeah, and then sometimes I find it's easier to do a wing from like out here, but I always like to do this baseline first. I try and make sure that's even. I like to make sure, I don't know if you could see, this one's kind of raggedy. It needs to be a straight ass line. And again, some people's eye shape doesn't work with a straight line. Sometimes people have like a little line and then it's shorter, it doesn't connect. It depends. When I drag it down, I like to drag from kind of like not all the way to the top. Wow. I guess I work better under pressure. So I realized I made it look way easier than it looks today, but I just got lucky, okay? So yeah, I always like to go back in with my brush, and then I'm gonna do my falsies. I did a in-depth falsies tutorial a few years ago. I think I'm gonna redo it though, just because I'm not super proud of like the quality and the lighting and stuff like that. So I would do that in this video, but I feel like I've already taught so much that it's kind of a little bit overwhelming. So at this point you would just put your falsies or your mascara. In this case I'm doing falsies, but I still always do a coat of mascara. Oh, I just realized I didn't do my waterline on this side. This Morphe liner is so good. I think it's really good. I think I equally like it as much as the roller liner. The only thing is, if you mess up with this Morphe liner, goodbye. Like it will not come off. Like you need pounds of concealer or literal makeup remover to remove this. I wish I was kidding. But yeah, another thing I do is I smile. I look in the mirror. I see, okay, does it look good when I smile? Does it look good when I make weird eye shapes like this? And then the real test also, sometimes I put my lashes on and I'm like, okay, this needs to get fixed over here. So it's a work in progress. And then what I also like to do is go in with my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight, which I'll probably show you guys right now after I put my falsies. Guys, hold up. Can I just show you? I literally just wash my hands and scrub them with soap and water. That's what I mean. It does not go anywhere. And now another key step that I cannot emphasize enough. If I look down, you probably see that it looks a little whack. So you really want to make sure, first of all, my thing is not even glued right. Push your lash down and cover that band up. Make sure it looks good. I've learned the hard way with this one, okay? I'll like edit back videos and I'll be like, oh my god, why didn't I cover the glue right? Make sure you blend right with the mascara. And then the brow bone. There we go. And then, hey, I'm gonna take my setting spray First of all, make sure you test this with your liner because this can literally ruin your entire look if your liner starts bleeding. Sometimes if you feel more comfortable covering your eyes. But I don't know, even when I do shadow, I love to spray it on my eyes because I feel like it just makes the powders blend together and melt into the skin and just look absolutely beautiful in my opinion. Yay! So I can't find the outro to this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much and I'll see you next time. Bye!